Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bring Humanity Together. Welcome to another special edition of Conversations for Humanity here on Wonderful Wednesday. And again, it's another great day to be alive and another gift, not only to receive, but to give as well. And today we have our special guest, Joel, in the house today to come share his story with us today on Conversations for Humanity. And I kid you not, he's all the way from London in the UK and everything like that. So I gotta ask you, Joe, before we even get started, do you like fish and chips or don't you like fish and chips?
I'm trying to cut back my diet, so
no fish and chips for you.
No.
Because I know people love fish and chips and everything, and I've never had fish and chips in London. And I would love to do so, but I got to ask you first and foremost, and let's just get started into it. Thank you so much for being here. But Joel, tell us a little bit about who you are. First, number one, but then number two, tell us how life is living in the UK. How does that look like and mean to you? So the floor is yours. Take it away. Thank you so much for being here today on Conversations for Humanity.
My pleasure. Yeah, and I do wish that throat better, by the way. um, I started my musical journey, if you like, from at the ages of at the age of 2. I just realized I wanted to play music, and I therefore self-taught drums up until the age of 7, and then I actually got a professional tutor to take me further. So then I was diagnosed at the age of 9 with autism. Not fun, but it certainly made a lot of sense. And all through school, yeah, it wasn't a picnic. I went through 4 schools. I like to be I like to have an even playing field when so I went through 2 elementary and then 2 secondary schools. The education system isn't really set up for people like me. So one of the things I'm trying to fix with my company, but we'll get to that later on. And then I went to college, studied music technology, then worked for my cousin's company between 2018 and 2019, and then got let go because I'm autistic. Then the company went bankrupted about a year later, so that was fun. But then we get to 2 years ago. I started my company, which is all about bridging the gap between society and neurodiversity. And with this, as much as one would like to just do it and have all the material in the world to just give and set up as a charity, which is what my first plan was originally, and then I got made redundant. So then I thought, holy shit, I need I need to start. I need to have a job here. So I then switched rapidly to a limited company. So then 2 years later, so in 2022, we the company was registered and born, and then about this, and then no sooner after it was registered and born, I appeared in Forbes magazine, in an article contribution. And then we're here right now, and we have launched a podcast of our own, Fighting for the Right to Party, which is all about neurodivergent stories and how they are muddling through this their own journeys, and then we also now have launching from September a monthly networking event with masterclasses, and one of my team, Max Laubscher, will be teaching how to build authority on LinkedIn to those who want to learn it as well. That's only accessible through our Patreon. Not pitch slapping here, but that's exactly what. That's exactly just telling you what it is, and we're also actively raising funds to build our own weirdly AAA metaverse hybrid sort of game, and in a sense where you can work remotely, completely remotely, embodying your virtual self in a virtual world, as well as having fun, which I don't believe has ever entered the workplace um, in living memory. And we're also launching a few a few music artists as well further down the line. So we've got all that happening along with AI, and I'm sure that you have lots of questions, Chris. So I will let you answer.
So let me ask you this, Joel, and that was really great. I loved it. Since you have been doing what you've been doing for a lot of years, and you stepped into who you were and are right now, did you let autism defeat you? Or did you embrace it and say, you know what, I don't have autism. I have a gift. I have a presence. I have a thing that really can shine to a lot of people. Did you kind of take that kind of tact versus what other people have probably have done and say, hey, I'm not worthy because of this. I have this and I have that. How did you have done that from probably where you started from to where you are today? How did that journey play out?
Well, as well, it's played out slightly different when I was in school and kids in kid age, and then teenagers. But it sort of played out. I sort of grew into that owning what I have, because after spending and possibly wasting uh, a large majority of my life trying to crack the friend code and get a social life, which I've never actually been able to do because I am different. So I was always that person in the corner of the playground at recess. No one wanted to play with that weird kid. Um, and But since the adult years, I certainly have grown into that. And you know what? If no one likes me for me, then yeah, I now have no filter. So I will tell it what it is. I will use every single word in the dictionary, um, both cursing and otherwise, to actually tell it what it is. And if no one, if I don't have any friends, so be it. I have a oh,
Here is my great friend, partner, and mentor, Keith Kuperman. Hello there, Keith. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing well. Looking forward to learning more about Joel and just listening in. Thanks,
Well,
Chris.
Joel was on a roll. He was just sharing about his journey in and of itself. So you came at the right time and everything like that. And I kid you not, Keith. Joel was brought to us by Margaret. So Margaret actually introduced Joel, to bring humanity together and everything like that. And he's actually based in the UK, just like Sven and Monica is.
Very cool. Thank you, Margaret.
I wouldn't call it very cool over here, but
But I appreciate you being here with us, Joel.
thank you. Yes, where was I? I've lost my train of thought now. Doesn't get any easier.
And if you can believe it or not, Keith, Joel wants to come to the United States, and he might be even thinking about coming to California. Now, what do you say to him when it comes to California?
Find the right season. Make sure that the area you're moving to is not wildfire prone. So, like, do your research here. Download the app watchduty.org and check out where the fires are occurring, past burn scars, and all that stuff, and find a place that's not in the middle of that. Good luck. No, I can help you if anything. I'm not trying to make it sound dismal, but just to be more cautious.
I was last there in 2019 in Tustin. Actually, in the middle of January, in the beginning of January. Over here, we're lucky to get 1 day of sun, let alone 5. So when I went over there, I was like, "What fresh sorcery is this?" And then I proceeded to say, "You can do it. Why don't you bring it over here?"
Wow.
Well, the hottest temperature that it's supposed to get today, I believe, is about 108 where I'm at.
I prefer that to what it's currently doing here, which is the usual.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to your story. Looking forward to learning more about you. Thank you, Joel.
You're welcome. Anyway,
but like you were saying, though, Joel, of the journey that you've started on this great and engaging opportunity that you've been on.
Yeah.
Today, I got to ask you this. It just really hit me when Keith came in. When you can go out and to connect with people, no matter if it's on LinkedIn or not, or whatever that might be,
mm-hmm.
Do you keep your place and space in open space to such a degree you want to bring everybody in through the gift of the invitation? And do you literally take it from a place that you allow them to align with you, or allow them to agree with you, or both, or whatever that might be? Because you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but can you actually be able to, maybe in one way, shape, matter, or form, see what they see, and then you allow them to see what you see? Can you kind of do it in that dynamic, or how's that played out for you?
Well, it's played out surprisingly well, because I've always looked at it, if no one hates what you're doing, then people don't realize what you're doing. But if they do hate it, that's great. We like that, because then they know full well what you're doing, and they're jealous of what you're doing.
Right? Absolutely. Now, then the question then becomes, Joel, do you tell people who you are, or do you tell them what you do?
Well, who I am and what I do are one of the same.
Okay.
I built the company around my story. I am effectively not just a face, but the brand, if you like.
So let me ask you this then. Why do people disassociate themselves of who they are and actually go more into the do, or vice versa? Why do we kind of put that in a separator kind of state? Why do you think we do that?
Because we as a society don't like to be judged. They might like what I do, but they might not like me as a person.
So then the question, I know, Keith, you'll probably be chomping on the bit on this one, is that then this comes into play too for me, is then, Joel, if that's going to be the case, then why do we even have judgment? Why do we need it?
In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that is, judgment is the one of the ugly offspring, if you like, of ego.
Well, for me, I believe judgment has been a big part of a lot of our lives, because maybe it's also about recognizing this, and I want to get your take on it too, because it hits me just as much too as well. Do you believe judgment and perception kind of are hand in hand too as well?
I think they can be, but as most of the people I've actually grown up with come together, they make a judgment on you based on no knowledge whatsoever. And that leaves that they say they perceive you as to be one thing, and then they judge you based on what they perceive, which of course 9 times out of 10 is completely and utterly wrong.
That is awesome to hear, Joel. Thank you so much. And I see now we have another guest with us today, Steve. Hello, Steve. How you doing this afternoon, sir? You're on mute.
No, not mute.
And yeah, that's all right. Just take your time. DJ, glad to see you here, sir. There you are, Steve. How you doing?
I'm good, and I'm going to have to stay on mute today because I got caught in between places. So I want to listen, but I might not be able to talk a lot.
That's all right. We're glad that you're here. And DJ, how you doing today, sir?
What's up, man? Hey, I get the invite all the time. I'm sorry I can't make it most of the time, but I figured I was available now for a little bit, so I would join y'all. But I'm here. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it, honestly.
All I ask you
like
is
DJ.
to show up. That's all. Sometimes that's all we can do is just show up when we can. Absolutely. And Steve,
Yes,
like I said, I would love to have a great and engaging conversation with you pretty soon. I'm glad that you are here. Oh my gosh, now they're flooding in. Steve, see what you done? You're flooding in the gates now. There you go. All because of you. You and DJ. Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Hallie, how are you doing today? You're on mute.
Hi. How are you guys today?
Doing well. Glad you could join us today and everything. So, of course, our special guest today is Joel. He's sharing his story right now with us. And as you see, our great partner from Bringing Humanity Together in an Adaptive Strategies group, Keith Kuperman, is here too as well. But we're glad that you're here, Hallie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to put y'all on not show myself because I'm going to fix some lunch while I'm listening to you guys. So,
all
thank
right.
you.
Just want to thank everyone
Sorry,
for
my
being
kitchen.
here.
Welcome to my kitchen in Tennessee.
Just want to thank everyone for being here. And yeah, don't worry about not being able to participate. This is going to be Joel's moment, but you'll be having an opportunity to ask him any questions if something resonates with you.
Yep.
But thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. So, Joel, we have talked about judgment, and we've talked about how your story started the unfold and everything like that. But let me ask you this. What has been one of the greatest gifts that's ever been bestowed upon you that someone has given you in your life that really not only did it probably maybe change your life, but maybe even change the way that you look at the world and everything like that? Has there been that one moment, or it could have been multiple moments, or that one person or multiple people? How's that played out for you?
I think I can do that with a visual. Where is my photos? Hopefully I've still got that photo. Got too many photos on here. But the one person, the one person which you can't even make this shit up if you tried. Okay, it's not. Where is it? No. Favorites. So I just got the new iOS 18 beta. It looks confusing. Where is it? Ah, old photos. Old photos. No. Okay, can't find it. That's a bit annoying. That is very annoying because
That's all right.
Without proof, I don't know how much belief anyone really has in it or not. But the person which
And like I said, it could be multiple people. It could have been one event. It could have been whatever. But like I said, was there kind of that moment for you that it literally changed your life? Maybe not, maybe that instant, but it really said something into your brain. Something's here.
Yep. That is. I still can't find it. Never mind. Oh well. Now that person was when I was born, and I know it's not my mother, although no, it's not my mother. And that person was when I was born, and I was on all these lovely, amazing contraptions to keep me alive. And that was the late Princess of Wales.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the few. She came out She was visiting the hospital which I was in, and I was one of the few she picked up. And if I can find the flipping photo, I've got the proof of that. But she gave me. I think I believe she gave me a lot of things, but I can't really pick one of them. I can't really pick one
Mm-hmm.
because that's a moment that very few people can say. Can't find it. That moment is a very few people can say they've actually had. So yeah, the Princess of Wales or the late Princess of Wales. I don't remember. I was literally a few months. I don't remember.
Yeah.
At all, but I do have pictures of that.
Well, yeah, because see, when you really think about it, Joel, more often than not, we don't see an opportunity for whatever rhyme or reason because maybe we've been conditioned to say that we have to show up in a certain way or be a certain way in and of itself. So for me, I kid you not, this is one of the greatest things that have ever been bestowed upon me is when I was a kid and I had to go through speech therapy. One of the most beautiful things that was ever said to me was when she was helping me with my speech and everything like that. She said, like, Chris, for you to be seen and heard, you got to see the words, be the words, and let the words flow right through you. And I kid you not, that literally changed my life. And I didn't know it then, even though I was like 7 or 8 years old. But I was literally so captivated by that when I started really thinking about them on later years and everything. And that's why I asked you what I asked you, that was it that one event or a series of events that led you to what you do, what you're at right now, and create the life that you live now. Because maybe when we do have those moments,
Yep.
maybe, just maybe, we can bestow it upon others too as well. And do you believe that maybe the very act of giving, Joel's, and the very act of receiving as well?
I do believe that. I do believe that. Yeah. I do believe that. If you give, you'll receive more.
Right?
You'll receive way more.
All right. I love that.
Not
But I want to
necessarily
go to,
physically.
yeah, exactly. But I want to bring DJ into this for a second. And I got to ask you that very same question. Can there be one event or multiple events, or maybe one person or multiple people that can literally change the direction, the trajectory of your life?
Yeah, I think it could be as simple as one moment that could change the total trajectory of people's lives. I mean, I think in the matter of a moment, when whether it's a tragic incident or it's fight, mine would be Jesus. Really building that relationship with Jesus changed everything for me, and you nailed it with giving. It was once. It was going. I was born and raised Catholic my whole life, but kind of seeing a different vision than what I was being told a lot, and so kind of beat myself up and didn't realize I was a hard critic of myself.
Right.
And I think it's when you find that relationship or that thing, like you're saying, and again, so it could be a tragic incident, it could be finding Jesus, it could be in a matter of a moment can change your life forever. And I think we've had people who just had that recently happen in the world. And so it's and it happens every day. And I think it's giving. What you said is once we focus more on what we can give, what our gift is, whatever our actual reason for being here, and the purpose that we're waking up today to see another day. Once we find that and we can give that, then everything changes, and that's literally what happened for me. So that's why I'm here in Virginia Beach instead of Cleveland. So.
Love it, DJ. Love it. Joel, I believe you know who this is in the picture now, do you not?
I just sent that to you.
Now, who's that little bundle of joy right there in those arms? Who's that?
And that would be me.
Wow. How old were you there in that picture?
Yeah, I think around 6 or 7 months.
Wow. And that's your mom holding you, right?
No, that's the Princess of Wales.
Are you kidding me?
No, my mum is the one with the back with her back to the camera.
Oh my word. You
couldn't tell that? Sorry, Chris. Cool, Joel. Cool.
that takes the cake right there, Joel.
That's amazing.
You actually got to meet Princess Diana when you were a baby?
Well, that's not me. I will probably asleep, but
Now, Joe, I know there's more of a backstory to this. Now, we got to get into this now, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not. I got to find... Joel, you got to now tell us, how did you family get involved with Princess Diana? You got to tell us that now.
wasn't exactly part of the plan. None of that really was. No, so I was diagnosed about 2 weeks later with a very rare metabolic condition called maple syrup urine disease. I know it's a ridiculous name, but yes, that, in short, protein intolerance. She was visiting the hospital where I was in August 96. And she'd go around the wall. She was picking up random babies to hold, and I was one of the ones she picked up. And that was, I believe, one of the last pictures of Diana before she died.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my, that's a piece of history right there then. Oh my word. So the question becomes, Joel, and I got to ask you this. Did Princess Diana actually follow up with your family after that visit?
Well, it was a little difficult. You see, she died a year later.
Wow. So your family probably only spoke to her for whatever time she was there,
Yeah.
and that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, man. That would have been something if you kept tabs with her and everything, because now I don't know if you can share this, but I'd like to ask you this, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people asking this too as well. And Anna, glad to see you here too. But Joe, I got to ask you this: what did your mother think of Princess Diana? Did she ever talk to you about Diana when you got older and everything like that? Did she kind of share what she got from her when she was there
No,
with you?
I think she was a bit preoccupied with my health actually.
Yeah.
At that stage, I don't think she really registered.
No, yeah, we get that, Joel, and it's such a great experience that you were even able to be a part of that moment, because Princess Diana was so amazing how she would really go to the hospitals where the children needed them most and the family needed them most to show her support and to give back to the communities throughout the world. So it's just great that you were a part of history and that you're still here and that you've overcome your adversity. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, she was such a humanitarian herself. You know, she had, and then thinking of mental health, she had her own mental health and her own humanitarian ways. So kudos to Diana.
Yeah, so that was yeah, not part of the plan at all. None of that was really.
So I got to ask you this, because, like I said, you were a part of history. Um, did you ever thought in your wildest dreams that this many years later, and I got to ask you if this has had some kind of effect on you, did ever that visit in one way, shape, matter, or form, where people ask you, well, you probably don't remember Princess Di,
No.
but did the experience through what your family went through on that day, and in one way, shape, or form, did that kind of really impress upon you a lot of great things in and of itself? Did it kind of like shape you to who you are?
Yes, in a way. But she was not like all the other royal people. She was a human. I'm probably going to get a slap for that, but
Well, I agree with you there. She wasn't like your typical royal. I'll have to give you that. She was not. She was very generous with her time. She really had a cause to stand up for, because, like he said, she did stand up for those kids across the world
yeah.
who were underserved and everything like that. She really went out of her way to do that and everything. And I got to ask you, when that did come into to play, that you actually were a part of history at that time, um, did your mother, and I don't know if you ever asked her this, did your mother even fathom to even believe that Princess Di was going to be right in front of her? Did she ever know that was even coming about? Or
no
was that
one at the hospital, no one at the hospital knew. No,
oh my word.
no, she just turned up. No one at the hospital had any idea.
So it's a totally spontaneous event.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Keith, Now we're talking about being stuff on an impromptu kind of thing. Now look what happens there. Just out of the blue, she shows up and does that. And that isn't that saying something about impact?
No, I definitely think it is, and I've been loving the conversation about how the moments could change, how different moments could change your life. Of course, I'm behind a wheel right now. I think I'm almost in park. I'm now in park, so I won't be going through any type of window or structure. We're good to go. Okay. But moments like that could change your life. Or like if you go out with your friends and you're hanging out, you're having a good time, you're drinking, you're having wine, champagne, celebrating something great, and then turning that moment that's great into something really bad when you wind up hurting somebody else or you hurt yourself. So we all have those moments in our life where it can change in just one moment, one decision that we make, because every single moment, like after we open our eyes, it's like almost like it's like a Mad Libs or like a choose your own adventure. Like you never know what's going to happen. If you have that structure, if you have that guidance where you build a schedule out for yourself and you have the proper self-regulation, you're going to be able to guide yourself along that path. But for those that are just unsure, that they just wake up in the morning and they have no plans for the next day, they could wind up making one of those decisions just by picking up the phone and visiting with one of their friends that could maybe be in a circle that they probably shouldn't be communicating with, or just deciding just to do something that's just spontaneous and fun because they feel like they deserve some fun. So like, I could say honestly with me, like, we've had, I used to be like I was one of those business people that always wanted to create the next big thing. I did it. We sold it. We went on to the next one. It wasn't until I got into the humanitarian sector, when I started volunteering my time in addition to working, that I actually was able to truly see my purpose. And I believe, folding it back into, Princess Di and humanitarian work, like, it's, she was almost like the Red Bull. Okay. Listen. Listen. I'm saving you, Joel, from the human comments, so I'm just gonna go down with this one. So we'll say, like, Princess Di was like the Red Bull of like energy drinks. So it's like really for the work that she did out there in the world, where it was really authentic. It was going out there. It was saying, "I want to help you." That she truly showed up as herself. And I believe that, many people saw what she was doing out there. Many stars, celebrities, or any, political figures, they saw the work that she was doing out there and that resonated with them. So she was able to really impact the lives of not only the people that she was out there supporting at the local hospitals and, anywhere that she was traveling on her tours, but she was able to change people and get them to think outside of the box, that they do not have to fit into these particular guidelines or organization charts, that they can go outside of that and they could make an impact by doing these things. So I think, again, all of these things that we're doing, even on LinkedIn, we may think what we're saying or we're doing isn't impacting anybody. And I find out time and time again from someone I've never even heard of before, or someone I've spoken to multiple times, how just one post or just one story or me leaving or making a job decision had changed their life. So it's like we never know exactly what our actions or how they're going to impact other people in this world. So Joel, thank you so much again for sharing your story. And I think it is remarkable that, I'm glad that you have that picture that's going to memorialize that moment, and hopefully you can share that along with your family in the future, and continually share your story. Thank you, Joel.
You're welcome. Ideally, I wanted to share it with the former prince. I wanted to send it to Harry, but I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even know how to get, and wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
Well, I gotta ask you this.
Let's make it happen. No, we're gonna make it happen, Joel. Joel, if you want it to happen, I'm one of those people that I'd never accept no. I will never ever accept
I
no.
wanted it to happen because
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Harry was, I think, more attached to his mother than William was.
So we could find the proper channels. Just got to look at to see, like, who's yeah. Let's think about this. Let's look into it, because I would like to see how we can get this story, your story, but package that, put a bow on it, so it's just like that he could open up and let's see what we could
The
do.
greatest present ever.
Let's manifest it. Let's manifest this. Okay, I'm done now. Sorry, Joel.
Yeah, let's make it a great present. Absolutely. I truly believe not only a story should be shared, it should be heard. And Joe, it just really hit me home with this. Let me ask you this. When you are just willing to show up in and of itself and just let everything be for what they are, and just take it for what it is, do you actually just take everything in and you don't say no to this or yes to that? You just take it all in, and then you ask yourself, which is the one I want to start on first? And of course, the power of the present moment is very powerful, but also the power of saying, hey, wait, I can do this later, but I got to focus on this. Do you actually lead with discernment in your life to such a degree, not only does it open up more opportunities for you, but actually gives you more opportunity to connect with people in and of itself?
I take everything in and I attempt to do everything at once, which is probably the wrong approach to do things, but I do try to do everything at once. That's probably why half my list never gets done.
And there's some people who like to do that. They take everything all in and they have to kind of live within the chaos and everything like that. For me, I can't do that. I got to kind of dissect it, kind of put it in a certain way and everything like that. And that's the way I've kind of led my life. And I've done it that way. But I got to ask you this as well. Do you recognize balance in your life? Do you believe that if you don't see it there, then you won't have a balanced life, because then you become imbalanced? How does that balance play out to your day-to-day of what you do? How does that kind of do for you on the journey that you've been on?
Well, more recently, my balance is sorted out in the form of a four-legged friend, which is he's currently asleep right now on the floor. So I'm not even gonna try and wake him up.
Don't wake up him. No, just let him be. Let him be.
But yes. Oh no, you woken up? No, okay.
He might be up later.
Yeah.
What's that,
So
your dog?
well, his name is Bailey. Currently, he's got a few bite rashes on his insects have been at him in the underside, so he's now wearing his surgical suit every single night to stop him from scratching, which is not fun for him, but there we go.
Nice. I used to have a couple of dogs in my day, and I loved them dearly. In fact, I had a Chihuahua. Loved him to death and everything like that. He lived up to, I believe, 14. Beautiful thing in the world. Loved him to death. And when you really think about it, Joel, those fur babies
Yeah.
are literally family. That can literally change your life. But I want to go to you, Anna, and I want to get the sense of what you've been taking in today and everything like that. But I truly believe you're going to probably want to know, how did Princess Di come into the picture? I'm sure you're like, how did that even happen?
I thought it was awesome. But I'm late, so I don't deserve to really know, honestly. I was just listening to what you were saying about balance and chaos, and I feel like the balance part, I don't like the list thing. I'm just like kind of lost on that stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about, is that part of it. It'd be really nice to have it back. like not having a job, but you just don't have a schedule anymore.
Yeah.
My kids want something, we just go do it. So it almost feels like there's not a lot done. You know, I do my interviews and everything, but I just feel like it's just, yeah, there's not a lot of balance right now. So I need to find that.
And that brings me back to this question I want to ask you, and then I'm going to go to probably Steve and Keith here and Hallie in a second. I got to ask you this, Joel, because I truly believe it's going to resonate with a lot of people. Do you believe that you're meant for something greater than what you do right now? Do you believe there's a higher purpose that calls to us in one way, shape, matter, or form?
I do, yeah, I do. I do higher than, well, what I'm doing higher than what I'll probably ever achieve on this planet. And no, I'm not joining Elon Musk on Mars.
Yep.
I'm not being a part of, excuse me. Oi. 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 No. Hello. No biting your balls. Thank you. No, my purpose goes beyond I know what word I'd like to say, but I'm not sure if I can.
Yeah.
Not sure if I can. My purpose goes beyond fucking up planets like Elon Musk will be doing.
Uh-huh.
I want to build relationships, not destroy essentially everything. And if I can impact one person, I can then fall off the perch in peace.
Yep.
And I've done my job.
And you're absolutely right. It's all about the one, Joel. It really is.
Oi!
We don't need to seek out the many and make it all about the many, because maybe when we get focused on the many, we lose the very one people that we want to really connect with. And maybe that one person matters, because when it does it from a place of that one eventually will turn into many and everything. So, Steve, I want to bring you into the conversation, sir. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. I got to ask you that very same question. And Hallie, I kid you not, I got to say this before I do anything else, before I lose my train of thought. Plus, it's Whiskey Wednesday, like Taco Tuesday, but for badasses. There you go. I love that. Love that. But, Steve, I got to ask you that very same question. In one shape, matter, or form, are we all called to a higher purpose? And how does that look and play out to you in your life?
Well, and again, I'm going to keep it pretty kind of brief because I apologize. I got stuck in a restaurant, so it's probably kind of a loud space. So I hope you can hear me okay.
You're good.
So for me, I transitioned about 5 years ago from my corporate executive world to purpose-driven work. And, I felt really called to do that on many different levels. Some of which is like, I knew deep down in my soul, I knew in my heart that I could do something that nobody else could. So as an entrepreneur and as somebody who's, purpose-driven entrepreneur and all of these things, it's like, I created a movement. I created a storytelling movement, for allies, and the LGBT community, because that's my community. And, it's like there is so much, there are so many powerful relationships between people in the community and those they love, and nobody is talking about it in a very powerful and real way. And I knew I could do that better than anyone else. And also, I was called to purpose because these stories started coming to me about 5 years ago, about 6 years ago. I hosted an event that was not related to this. It was for a big milestone birthday for me. I put together a fundraiser for a LGBTQ charity that's close to my heart, and just to mark my milestone birthday. And what I really wanted to do was to invite, my family and friends to see the world through my eyes as a gay man for a minute. And I don't know if any of them did, but what happened was I know that I ended up seeing the world through their eyes as an ally for a minute, because it's like people started telling me these stories. And like a guy I went to high school with was like, look, you don't know this, but one of my kids is gay, and what he has taught me about love is really powerful. And so all these stories started coming to me about, how having somebody, in the queer community in your life had expanded your definition of love. But nobody's talking about it through the lens of like the ally too. It's like, and their road and their part in all of this. And I'm sorry I went on too long, but it's like, so yes, it's like I feel really drawn to purpose-driven work, and it's like my entire life changed through that. And transitioning from a corporate executive of 25 years to an entrepreneur with purpose-driven work, and and the struggles and the financial struggles that come with that is really, really challenging. But I also know that it's the right thing to do, and I'm the person who can do it, and I'm the person that can bring people together in a way that nobody else is, and to create the conversations and the stronger relationships and the deeper understanding that is so necessary for all of us to create the world we want.
Yeah, and when you really think about it, is at its very core dynamic, Steve, I'm a firm believer that you should lead the life that you live, and do it in the way that you want to do it, but also be very mindful and respectful of what people want to do, because again, there's going to be that dynamic, Steve, of alignment and agreement. Again, you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay. But you can allow that alignment to be there, or that agreement to be there, and you can say, hey, maybe you can take a journey with me from alignment maybe into agreement, or agreement into alignment, and just let that be. And if you can start it from there, then you can be able to find a way to not only choose that curiosity over clash, but also use the conversation there within through the power of story to move the needle and dialogue forward. And then, in and of itself, maybe in one way, shape, matter, or form, be rooted in common purpose, whether it be in alignment or agreement or both, whatever that might be. Because then again, if you start doing it from that place, it takes a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, and then I'll turn the mic back over to you, but what's really interesting, just to reiterate what you said, is that I recently wrote something that published a couple weeks ago, where I said, when these stories came to me, and they did come to me, right? It's like and I'm going to try to remember how I phrased it, so I'm not going to, so I guess I'll paraphrase it. But I said, it's like the entry, the common denominator, or the entry into the conversation, was certainly about sexual orientation, but that was not the point of any story. The point was about shared humanity and expanded love, right? It's like it started because, hey, I got a gay kid, or I don't think I've ever told you about my uncle, who was my favorite uncle, and he was lost in the AIDS epidemic, or there was a lot of people. I had several stories come to me where it's like people of faith who really struggle, with what either their sexuality or their loved ones' sexual orientation. And it's like through my organization, my storytelling movement, I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to like a lot of faith leaders, and I have learned so much about affirming and welcoming people, as opposed to other tactics or other ways. And and it's like what is so powerful about this work that I've been drawn to do is that it's like, yes, I talk about it through the lens of the queer straight relationship because that is my lived experience. But the reality is allyship and support and unconditional love and active love and active allyship is necessary for all of us,
right,
to survive and thrive. And it's like, so, any marginalized group in this world needs that allyship and needs people to listen to them about like, this is how I need for you to show up for me. not how you think. You might think, but it's like I can tell you how to show up for me if we just have the conversation, right? And that goes, that's both ways. And so what's been really super, super powerful for me is that's like, yes, this is the lens that I began this about, but it's like people talk to me all the time in other marginalized communities. It's like right now in the United States, it's like women's rights are under attack. It's like, I mean, I'm not trying to get political, but it's like there's many, many marginalized groups. And when I started out this, I started talking to people. Yeah, again, I talk about it through my lived experience. But, people of color said, well, it's the same kind of conversation, and so, again, it's like I'll, stop because otherwise I'll talk all day. So I apologize for going.
Well, you're good. You're good, but we're glad that you're here. And we definitely need to connect offline and talk. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Joel, I just thank you for sharing your story and your photo. And
Welcome.
even as a little baby, it's like I'm sure you felt that energy and that love, and you've carried that forever, and that's so powerful. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Steve. Greatly appreciate you. But Joel, I want to bring this to the table too as well, and we'll go to Hallie, and then we'll probably close it down here in a couple of minutes. Let me ask you this, Joel.
Yeah.
In the journey that you've been on now, and I've always asked this of everyone that I've interviewed in one way, shape, matter, or form, but I truly believe it's powerful. In the place that you're wanting to go right here, right now, have you done it on a kind of a dynamic, and I truly believe this is going to be powerful for you, and I want to get your take on it. Do you believe that when hope and faith came knock on your door, that you're willing to answer that call? Do you believe hope and faith is a big thing in what we do and why we do it? I mean, how's that kind of played out in your life when it comes to hope and faith?
That's those two things are do work together, and in my life they certainly have done. Without both of those things, I probably would not. I probably would be somewhere else, physically here. And with everything I do, with entrepreneurship, you do always have to take a leap, don't you? It's always a risk. But that's what makes it, I guess, exciting.
Yeah. I love that. Love that. Because I'm a firm believer in hope and faith, Joel. I really am. Because sometimes hope is where it all starts, as well as faith. Because if we know it's going to be a better tomorrow because we choose it to be, then it will be, and everything. And I really love that. So, Keith, me and you definitely need to talk to Joel offline, sir. But it's about that time to go to our final thoughts and everything in between. So I'll start with you, Keith, sir. Over to you.
We come back on camera for this and shut my windows. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being here, especially you, Joel, for pouring, letting us dive into your soul, letting us understand more about who you are, being vulnerable with us, and sharing your story, because our story is one of our most prized possessions that we have, and it's always the way that we can connect to other people from around the globe. Really, if you look at all the people that are on here on the call today, really thankful for that. Moving forward, within bringing humanity together, as Chris had mentioned, hope and faith, that's something that Chris has had since 2017 when he started this group together, hoping to build a coalition of members that were interested in being a part of a community that could make this impact, make the impact around the globe. And it was something that was bigger than ourselves. I think, Joel, really looking forward to getting to know you, along with also Haley, Anna, Steve. Steve, thank you so much also for sharing your story with us. again, all of our stories, if we play like 6 Degrees of Separation or any other game that you want, all of our stories are going to be intertwined somehow or another. And this is really like what we say in some of the meetings with bringing humanity together. It's almost like we're the Avengers at some point or another, when we all have our superpowers, that we're able to come out there, we're able to make a difference, and no matter what situation actually occurs, we find the right stakeholder, the right champion that's in the room among us, that's able to take on that particular issue itself, while the rest of us sit there and we support them, we give them what they need. So I think that there is, I see plenty. My hope and my faith is that we'll continue these conversations, and that you'll provide us with another opportunity to meet with you on another meeting, and so we can learn more about you and then all grow together. But again, thank you, Joel, for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Keith. Hallie, your final thoughts today, ma'am?
Hi. Yeah. So I love hearing about both Joel and Steve, because I didn't know things about Steve either. And then thinking of your last hope and faith, I was going to type it here in the messages right now, but 2 Corinthians 5:7, we live by faith, not by sight. But I probably almost want to speak more to Steve right this second, just because thank you for sharing, because I have a great friend who went to college with me, and I think of him all the time. It took him over 5 years to come out, not through college. It was after college. He even dated one of my good girlfriends for a long time, and they're friends today. We're all friends today, but this has been over 26 years. He is from a small town in Tennessee, very small, smaller than even the one I live in. His family is a prominent name. They had lived there for years. He wanted to be a teacher, and he did teach for 26 years. And he came out, though, after he left college, and that was a big step for him. And I recently got to reconnect. His name's Colby, but got to reconnect with Colby, and actually got to go out and experience things that I had not experienced, even though I've had friends for years who are, I think of Caterpillars, who I worked for 20 and a half years, and they supported the LGBTQ community. Then my father has a employee, well, I guess I should say we have an employee that has worked for him over 10 years. Her daughter just turned 18, but before she turned 18, I say she was a he. And Aaron, who has a very religious Christian background, had to step back and look at this, but had to say, this is my child. And so hearing Aaron's testimony this last year about Cam, it's just been an amazing testimony. And one thing, I grew up in a Christian-based home. And so, but the thing is it's not my place to judge anybody. There's one judge, but it's my place to love everybody. So I just did want to speak to that. So thank you very much. And then Joel, I kind of stepped in late on some of Joel's story, but Joel, it seems fascinating what you have to share. So thank you for that. And just thank you for letting me be a part of bringing humanity together here. So thank you. It was great to meet y'all today.
Hallie, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you. Anna, your final thoughts today, ma'am?
I just love coming to these, because I always leave a lot better than how I came in. So that's really all I have for today.
Well, that's what these conversations are meant to do, Anna, is to leave you better than, like I said, once you come in.
Yeah.
Because that's probably one of the greatest gifts that we can do. We can literally be changed by the very people we surround ourselves with. And maybe in that moment, even though we might be having a bad day or not having a great week or having a great month or whatever that might be for us, maybe someone can come into our lives and say, hey, it's okay. It's going to be better tomorrow. It's going to be better next week. It's going to be better the next day. And when you do have that support system around you in and of itself, it really will be there. Because again, the very act of giving is in the very act of receiving, Anna. And like I said, that's what it's all about. in and of itself and everything. So really love that. But Joel, I want to get your final thoughts before we close in the call and everything. And Dina, I'm glad you're here. We just now getting ready to wrap it up, but we're glad that you showed up anyways. Thank you so much, Dina, for showing up. But I want to get your take, Joel, of what showed up for you today in the call and what really came to you and what did you get out of it today?
I got to share my story again. I do love. I do want to continue doing it, and with hopefully with more awareness around everything I do, and go out to meeting more people, widening my network, and yeah.
Well, Joel, we're just so humbled and honored that you're a part of our great and growing community here at Bringing Humanity Together. And like I said, me and Keith are looking forward to speaking to you offline and see how we can collaborate with one another. And me and Keith like to offer that very same opportunity to all of you as well, either watching this on a replay or when Joel shares this out to his great and growing community too as well. And again, Margaret, I know you're not watching, but thank you so much, Margaret, for introducing Joel to us. It's been such an honor and pleasure. But before we go, we got to get to Dina. Dina, how are you doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
Oh, I'm good. It's just been really full today, and but I wanted to. I know I saw this kind of late, so I just thought I'd at least pop in and say hello. I'll try not to be late again.
You're fashionably on time, so you're good. No worries there.
I am in talks. Just so you know, I'm in talks with Maggie and Sharon to do some live audio situations. So things are in the works. I just need a little more time for my own foundational stuff for before really fully putting myself out there. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Well, me and Keith would love to know that. Absolutely. If there's any way we can help out, Dina, we would love to do that.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, and then it's like ideas are like plenty abundance. It's just the structural aspect that I need assistance with.
Yeah, no worries, Dina. No worries. And like I said, I'm so humbled and honored that you showed up with us today. Joel, thank you so much for being with us today. I greatly appreciate you. Like I said, looking forward to speaking and collaborating with you moving forward. And again, if there's anything that we can help you with in any which way, shape, matter, or form, please don't hesitate to reach out to Keith and myself. And that goes for all of you, Hallie, Anna, Steve, Dina, and of course, everyone watching on our replay. We're just so humbled and honored. If you wanted to get to know more about Bringing Humanity Together, you can go to bringinghumanity.com, or if you want to come share your story, I will share the link for you to share your story on Conversations for Humanity and everything like that. So we'll be I guess, a great word of wisdom today. And I want to bring this into the mix, Keith. I want to hear what is your word of wisdom today on Wonderful Wednesday.
Words of wisdom. What's
And
that?
he's sincere with a W here because he said words wisdom Wednesday.
Yeah, it's like this is like tongue twisters here. So I think reflection, like we're at Wednesday right now. It's like reflect on how, what your plans were for the week, where you're at right now, and where you would like to end off on Friday. Just reflect instead of just like saying, yes, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get there. Hold on, slow it down, take a pause, reflect on where you're at, where you would like to be, and maybe reset some of those SMART goals that you make and make them a little bit smarter so they're going to be achievable, so that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and you can fill your cup back up again.
Yep. I love
Reflect,
that.
reset, 2 words.
Yep. Love it. Love it.
Woo-hoo. We'll add the
So-
W there. Woo-hoo.
We need three R's. 3 R's to match the 3 W's, right? And rest.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
That.
Absolutely.
That's
So
because
again, Joel, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you. Dina, go ahead. Go ahead, Dina. You had something?
what? Were you talking to me?
Yeah, I said you had something. I got into yours.
Thing. It's so funny that you said that, Keith, about like pulling back and like looking at your goals and making them smarter and like, and that's you're speaking my language. Thank you for that. As I was trying to say, Keith, that's exactly what I need to do right now. Before saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do all these things," and then back out and be like, "I didn't know what I was thinking." I'm like, I get excited and a lot ahead of myself sometimes. So thank you.
I get it. I do too as well. Especially when I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to the chamber event tonight. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to that. I have a meeting at 8 p.m. I have another meeting at 11 p.m. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's go to tomorrow. So all this stuff is happening, but it's like, yeah, we do need to reflect, reset, and rest. Back
There
to
you
you,
go.
Chris.
There you go. Love it. And again, like I said, Joel, thank you so much. Hallie, Anna, Steve, Dina, thank you so much. We'll see you guys later on the next call. And Joe, you have a great day. Make your day. And thank you for being our special guest today. Really appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome.
You have a good one. Thank you.
Bye, guys.